Good morning, Fights and Frags fans. How's it going? It's currently 5:30 a.m. and I am on the way to the gym. This is Monday. This segment here is being recorded. We're coming off of a weekend of a UFC Fight Night card. I am trying to hold my phone as I am driving. Not distracted driving, mind you. Just trying to keep it as stable as possible because I'm not sure if the microphone is picking up from my headphones, which it should be, or if it's picking up from my phone. So in order to not have to record this segment again, I don't want it beating back and forth. But what a great fight night. It was pretty good. It was better than I expected. The prelims, you had one submission in the prelims, 2 decisions, which wasn't too crazy, wasn't too bad. What was really impressive to me personally was the main card. I had no intention of watching these fights. I watched a couple of them, and then I caught the ones the next morning in the gym. This is one of the ones I caught the next morning in the gym, which was Alex Perez versus Tatsuro Tara. I don't know how you say his name, Tara. Pretty the dude's from Japan. Alex Perez is 25-8, I believe, and Tatsuro is 15-0. Tatsuro wins by TKO or KO by this craziest back mount I've ever seen. When I tell you, he takes this gentleman's back in the second round and is the closest thing I've ever seen to, like, you've seen videos of, like, apes and stuff like that climbing on each other's backs or something, and monkey on your back type of thing. And, like, he's got the body triangle locked perfectly, and he's kind of riding a little bit with no hands. Like, he's using mostly upper body strength. He's punching the dude in the back, or not in the back, but in the side of the head, and the temple, and the jaw every time the guy's not defending his face. While simultaneously, every once in a while, he's lurching his body back to try to get that body weight to shift, to pull Perez down. But what only the trained eye sees, I didn't see it the first time until they showed the replay. He's got his foot behind the knee, one of the knees. He's got his foot behind it, so every time he's like throwing his body weight around, he's making that knee strain, trying to hold that weight up. And it looks like I don't know the official injury. I'm hoping that Perez is okay and everything, but it did not look good from what we've seen. It looked like maybe Perez's knee just gave out. All I know is he went down. He was clutching his knee, and they called the fight there as a TKO or a KO. I'm not really sure, but that was when the fight was ended. They had to help him out of the octagon while keeping his legs straight. Hopefully it was just really painful, nothing long term, because you hate to see that. And it's one of those things that a lot of those this wasn't even a leg lock necessarily, but it shows you just how, I would say, weak. I don't want to say that, but fragile, there's the word. Just how fragile the legs are and the knees are. They tell you, sometimes somebody gets a leg lock, an ankle lock, starts wrenching it, and people don't give up, and then when they finally do give up because they can't get out of it, it's too late. The damage is done. They can't walk on it. The thing is mangled. They find out they got to go get surgery. Tendons are fucked. All that stuff. Whoops, I cussed. Anyway, so you gotta... Hopefully Perez is alright. It was a good fight. I enjoyed watching the 2 rounds that it lasted. There were a couple eye pokes. I think there was like 3 eye pokes all night. So the gloves seem to be doing maybe a better job. I'm not really sure. A lot of what happened to Perez as far as eye pokes go was like face washing, you know. He's putting his hand up in his face, maybe measuring distance. I don't think so. I think it's just that annoyance of got my hand in your face, and you know it's gonna make it hard to fight. But he poked his eye like twice doing that, and then there was an eye poke in a earlier fight, which the gloves are supposed to prevent. 3 eye pokes in one night. Is that crazy? I don't know. I guess they have to, because see, they have to have the gloves open for some reason so they can grab, do submissions, stuff like that. So I don't have a solution other than just immediately start taking points away for eye pokes and make face washing kind of like in boxing, like illegal or whatever, banned. But that's changing the rules of MMA, which I don't think is going to happen. I think they did just what rule was it they just changed? I'll have to look it up and give you guys a whatever you call it, updated rule list of the MMA. But I'm pretty sure they just changed the unified MMA rule set slightly. Like one thing was fixed. I don't think it was the 12 to 6 elbow. I don't remember what it was, but it was actually a good rule change for once. Maybe we'll get to see more of it in the UFC. I think that changes in January. That rule set goes into effect. But I'm going to do some research. Maybe I'll bring it up in a future topic. But looks like I'm about to pull up to my destination. So we're going to be done with this segment. Did you guys watch the fight night? Was Alex Perez, did he live up to your expectations? And what about the other guy? Did he live up to your expectations? He surpassed mine. I didn't know that he could fight like that. He's a dog. I hope to see him in more fights. What about you? Do you see him winning that division and getting a title? Would be nice, wouldn't it? This weekend on Saturday, June 22nd, 2 p.m. Central Time. Early fights. That's right. UFC Fight Night. I believe this is taking place in Saudi Arabia, which was supposed to be Whittaker versus Chimaev. Sad face. You have Robert Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov. Once again, 15-1 versus Robert Whittaker, 26-7. That's happening this weekend, actually. I'm going to go ahead and put up Robert Whittaker. That's right. Robert Whittaker is going to go ahead and get my vote for... Just kidding. Ikram Aliskerov. You think I'm an idiot? Nah. Ikram is going to come in there and smash this guy. Remember, Ikram's only defeat is to Kazmat, which tells you how much of a world destroyer he is. Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. Man. Sergey Pavlovich, 18-2 versus Alexander Volkanov's 37-10. I'm going to go ahead and go with Sergey Pavlovich just because he's that man. He's got that hammer behind him, and Alexander Volkov has a little bit of a history of fighting, which to me in my brain translates to he is chinny, for the best part to say. Chinny, he's going to get chinned, he's going to get dropped. Then you got Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Gastelum 18-9 to Daniel Rodriguez 17-4. Anybody who's looking past Kelvin Gastelum is a moron. Kelvin Gastelum's about to walk through this guy. Then you go down to the light heavyweights. We got Johnny Walker versus Volkan Ozdemir. Johnny Walker 21-8 versus Volkan Ozdemir 19-7. I kind of like Johnny Walker, but I think Volkan's going to get him. I know that sounds crazy, but that is what it is. That was your main card for this weekend's UFC. What's crazy is we get to see on the prelims at 11 a.m. Central Time. This is great. Early fights, I love them because I get to wake up, go to the gym, come home, do my little bit of recovery that I do while watching UFC fights. You got the man. The people are obsessed with this guy. He is undefeated. Is he going to be a champion? We don't know. Apparently, he's got one eye. Sharputin Magomedov, 12-0 versus Jolton Santos, 38-9. I don't know who Jolton Santos is, and I don't know what he looks like because as I'm looking at the card right now, they don't even have his picture as a fighter. You know, they have the pictures of the fighters. They don't even have this guy. So they could be feeding this Sharputin Magomedov guy. I would say nobody, but his record says otherwise with 38-9. So I'm behind the hype train of Sharputin Magomedov. I'm gonna say he wins it. I hope he does. I'm about putting the money behind this kid. Let's see what he can do. I don't see any crazy names as far as on the prelims that are going to shake it up anymore. Like I said, you got a couple of other Magomedov, Gahuslev, I don't know how you say his name, versus Brandon Ribeiro, Kang Kayang Kung Ho versus Muin Gurav, Renat Fakaredov versus Nicholas Dalby, and Naskaret Hakoprest versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon's going to smash him. But I'm looking forward to this card. That is on Saturday. But you know what's even crazier is we have back-to-back amazing fights is what I'd call them. Yeah, sure. Any weekend that we have fights is good, I guess. Especially, you get to see some all-stars like Robert Whittaker, and maybe some up-and-coming all-stars like the Magomedov kid. But BKFC, I don't know anybody who loves bare-knuckle fighting. Look, some people don't like it because it's barbaric, they say. Some people don't like it because it's, I've seen it described as circus boxing or county fair boxing. I love it. I think it's an incredible sport. It takes some incredible cojones to get down in there and just willing to knuckle up with somebody and just get pulverized, essentially. But they have a big card this week. On Friday, the 21st, I believe that is. They have 3 championship fights, I believe. Well, it was billed as 3. Oh, yeah. They have 3 championship fights, it looks like. And a pretty deep card. Prelims are on Fubo TV. And Suarez versus Simpson, Sedano versus Zuckerman, Perez versus Reed. Then you go to your regular card. You got your Perdermo versus Bercier, Plasdala versus Dodson, Garcia versus Livingston. You got Perez, the cut man. They got the cut man fighting. Hey, I love me some Perez. You got Perez versus Inclan. Man, Perez, I hope he gets that W. You got Vincent versus Shaw. You got Ibero versus Caruso. Caruso's a dog. Then we got our first championship fight of the night. We got Warren versus Escobaza. Warren, man's got to drop him, take him out, knock him out. Get that W, Warren. Bring it home for us. Then you got the Bantamweight Championship belt. The previous fight, the first championship of the night, I believe, is it's a belt that nobody owns right now. So it's up for grabs. But this next fight right here, Richardson versus Blas. Richardson is the champion. He's defending his belt against Blas. And Richardson's 4-0 versus another 4-0 Blas. And looks like they're about the same weight. It doesn't show height. So we'll see how that works out. Richardson's going to hopefully defend that title against Blas. And then we got an interesting fight here on our hands. We have the defending featherweight championship, the defending featherweight champion Stewart versus the man Duran. Stewart's 5-0 versus Duran, who's 6-0. Stewart's hailing in from the United States of America. Duran is hailing in from Cuba. I want to go with the American. I want him to defend his title. But damn it, doesn't Duran look like a bad MFer, you know? So I'm going Duran on that one. Once again, that is Friday the 21st. That's BKFC 62 Hollywood at 7 p.m. I'm looking here to see what the odds are. You got Duran as the underdog, or as the favorite, it looks like. I apologize. Duran as the underdog, Stewart as the favorite. You got Blass as the underdog and Richardson as the favorite. You got Warren as the underdog and Ikobaza as the favorite. What a crazy fight. They got Perez. I lied. I can't edit this out. This is live. We're taking it back. We got Warren as the favorite, Escobaza as the underdog, Ibrola as the favorite, Caruso as the underdog, and then you got Perez, the cut man, as the favorite, and Ikram as the underdog. So that's pretty good odds. I'm not gonna, it's pretty close to how I called it, kinda. It looks like I was trying to see what kind of sportsbook offers they have. You can apparently bet with Underdog Fantasy or Betway are the two official ways to bet on the BKFC fights. If you're into that, I recommend you check it out. They have an amazing app, full of fights, dude. Full of fights, full cards. Amazing stuff. I've spent this whole month just brushing up on cards that I've missed and prelims, and that's what I like about BKFC is most of these fights are stoppages. They go to stoppages, or somebody gets stopped or dropped, rolled. No, most of those, and they're just brutal. They're bloody, and it's literally the closest thing that we have to, I would say, actual warriors. I mean, UFC is good. I love me some UFC. It's still my favorite sport. But BKFC to me is just amazing. Watching these people go in there. I watched a guy this morning. He had a giant cut on his face. There is no way that thing's not scarring up at all. There's just 0% chance it's not scarring up. And he won the fight, but he had a big old chunk out of his face, and it's when people call it barbaric, I'm like, I guess if you consider warrior stuff barbaric, then yeah, sure. But that's like people who said, yes, I will go in here and fight another human being, not necessarily to the death, but as primal as it gets, essentially, with boxing. No gloves, so guarding's hard. It's just a different sport. Cardio's insane. 5 rounds, they're 2-minute rounds. I don't know, just a whole different sport than MMA. That's why you see Mike Perry have so much luck. I wouldn't call it luck, but so much success. There you go. In the BKFC is because Mike Perry, that suits his fighting style. I don't mean to, when they say knuckle up, that's his fighting style. Knuckle up, get in there and throw. Don't clinch me. Don't, let's see who has the best hands. And that's what I like about it. It's not necessarily boxing where you have, once again, those dudes would rock me 100%, right? The big pillow hands still would rock me. But if they were like, would you rather me hit you with these big pillow hands or hit you with my bare fist? I'm going to take the big pillow hands over the bare fist because the bare fist is going to cut and destroy. Not that you can't get cut with gloves. Just you're more likely to get cut with the fist. A lot more damage involved. It's fun to watch. These guys are modern day people who fought in coliseums and stuff, you know? Like actual warriors and stuff. So it's interesting. But anyway, that's this Friday. And next time we have some UFC fights Saturday. It's going to be a great week for fights, especially since you got the two back-to-back. You got the UFC, you got the BKFC, you got, I'm sure there's other fights I didn't watch, but check it out. If you guys didn't watch, Chael Sonnen got to box the man once again, Anderson Silva. That's right. Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva took place a few days ago in Brazil. Apparently only in Brazil. I don't know if it was streamed. I just seen the ending where they made it into a tie. The clips that I did see, it looked like two old men in a boxing ring. No offense, that's what they are. They'd still whoop me. It is what it is, but it didn't look good. I seen one where Chael tripped over himself. But the most important thing is Chael is still undefeated in boxing. Maybe he'll retire undefeated. I see now that he is pushing for a Jorge Masvidal fight. Apparently there is some sort of beef between the bad guy Chael and Jorge Masvidal. And they've been, I wouldn't say Jorge's been trading blows with him, but Chael has definitely been trading blows to Jorge, talking about, Jorge cooperating in jail, and I don't know, like a lot of allegations to Jorge, not about really being a real bad guy that Chael is, and I don't know. It's interesting, especially with this boxing match between Nick and him both. Also, there was like a scuffle at a press conference, and just overall, when you get two real bad dudes around each other with Nick and Jorge, you expect something like this to happen. Chael and Jorge was not on my bingo card for 2024. Fight beefs to occur or take place. But even the older fighters still got to get it in. Are we all interested to see Chael versus Jorge Masvidal? It'll probably be boxing, unfortunately. But would that interest you? Or would y'all prefer MMA? I would prefer to see Chael versus Jorge in MMA. But there's no way that Chael is passing that exam. Maybe. Definitely not in the UFC. But we'll see. Is that something that interests you? And if not, what fights would you rather see? What would be your ideal fight of like guys who have retired, who are still active combat, I would say. I think I'm going to end the podcast here. Go ahead and upload this. This is on a Tuesday, so there might be plenty of news in the week. If there is, I'll drop an emergency episode of Fights and Frags. But I'm going to call it. So if you guys would be so kind to share the podcast, Facebook, wherever you really want to, that would be great. I appreciate you guys for hanging out and listening to me talk and ramble. Thank you guys. See you guys for the next episode. Later.